Chelsea's summer is starting to take shape, and Xabi Alonso is already right at the center of it. Alonso is reportedly influencing key decisions behind the scene. Big calls are being made on several first-team players, and new transfer links continue to emerge as the club prepare for a crucial window. From Bradley Barcola to Marc Cucurella to Enzo Fernandez, Malo Gusto, and Chelsea's striker plan. We have got a lot to discuss today. But before we dive into it, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. If you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. Look, we all know how the Chelsea news cycle works. Things have been relatively slow since the end of the season. And honestly, the media keeps spamming the exact same news over and over again. But behind the scenes, Xabi Alonso is already rolling up his sleeves, even though he doesn't officially take the wheel until July 1st. He's not sitting around waiting. He's already deeply embedded in our strategy, figuring out how he wants to run things at the training ground and what it's going to take to fix the squad. According to Enzo Fernandez, he's already involved in planning for next season, including transfers and gaining an understanding of the structure at the training ground at Stamford Bridge. There has been limited indication so far around how Alonso intends to strengthen the squad. Chelsea need to sell players both to meet the terms of their UEFA settlement agreement and remain financially compliant, as well as adjusting to the absence of European football next season. The financial reality is looming over us, especially with no European football on the calendar. We have got to balance the books, and balancing the books means selling some players. What I actually love though is the shift in dynamic. It feels like Alonso has been handed a lot more power than our past managers. He's not just a head coach who's been told who to train. He's a proper manager that is helping to direct the ship, which is exactly what we need right now. Because we are keeping things quiet on the incoming front, which is, let's be honest, unlike us. But it's a massive relief. We aren't seeing reckless rumors every 5 minutes. It's refreshing. But that doesn't mean we aren't planning. The targets are clear, and Alonso is going to have a massive say in who comes through the door. Alongside the directors, as Enzo Fernandez puts it, Chelsea are expected to target a forward, a midfielder, and a centre-back. Alonso's input will form a part of decision-making process alongside the club's hierarchy. A spine of forward, a midfielder, and a centre-back is exactly where the surgery needs to happen. And knowing we have a manager whose tactical IQ is that high, helps pulling the strings, gives me a lot more confidence than the scattergun approach we have seen in recent windows. Alonso is also wasting no time on clearing the air on the current players. He's already initiating tough conversation instead of hiding behind the board or waiting until pre-season media day. He's actively reaching out to the guys who doesn't know where they stand yet. As Enzo Fernandez reported, Xabi Alonso is understood to have spoken to several Chelsea players facing uncertain features, but he has not yet contacted the entire squad. I respect this heavily. He's identifying the players who might be part of this necessary financial clearance and the ones who has been unsettled and handling it face to face. He hasn't called the entire squad, but prioritizing players with uncertain feature shows he's trying to establish order and clarity before the day one. But moving on, if there is one player we should be breaking the door for this summer, it's Bradley Barcola. The market is just hitting up, and a massive opportunity has just fallen right into our laps. If he's truly available, I think Chelsea should be all over it. I know a lot of people are feeling skeptical about him, thinking he's just another flashy name, but you have to look at the raw quality. The green light has officially been given in Paris. According to L'Equipe, Bradley Barcola will be allowed to leave PSG this summer. Talks over his contract extension has completely stopped because he wants to be playing in the most important games, something PSG just can't guarantee him right now. He's stuck in a heavy rotation over there, but their loss should be our gain. Let's be completely honest with our situation. If you look at our left wing side, we have Alejandro Garnacho and Jamie Bynoe Gittins. But I think Bradley Barcola is a better quality overall than both of them. Gives us that directness, that elite 1v1 dribbling, and a tactical flexibility to unlock stubborn low blocks that we have struggled against all season. The media is reporting that Arsenal and Liverpool are the ones clearly pushing to sign him, treating it as a two-horse race to find their next big winger. But why are we sitting on our hands? I think Chelsea should enter the race immediately, because I think we absolutely need a left winger who can demand a starting spot to elevate the entire front line. We cannot let our rivals walk away with a talent like this without making our presence felt. But moving on, according to Simon Johnson, Bayer Leverkusen's Ibrahim Maza is on the radar of Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal this summer. The 20-year-old Algerian international has had an incredible rise. He only moved to Leverkusen from Hertha Berlin last summer for around £10.2 million, but he has rapidly established himself as one of the most aesthetically pleasing and tactical sharp young playmaker in Europe. He's a genuine test maker on the pitch, operating primarily as an advanced attacking midfielder, a number 10 or a dynamic left-sided half winger. If you haven't watched the boy yet, he's an absolute joy to watch. He has that rare, effortless elegance on the ball where he looks like he's playing in slow motion while everyone around him is completely panicking. Let's break down his game. Maza possesses an incredibly smooth first touch and a unique ability to drop his shoulder and glide past defenders in tight spaces. He specializes in receiving the ball in half turns between opposition lines. He doesn't just pass the ball for sake of possession retention. He's constantly searching for low, disguised vertical ball into penalty box. Standing at 1.08 meters, he has a low center of gravity that makes him remarkably press resistant, shielding the ball effectively under intense pressure. Playing under Xabi Alonso has seriously redefined his tactical discipline. He isn't just a passenger defensively, his pressing triggers are precise, and is highly capable of putting in robust tracking back shifts. Of course, at 20, there are areas for improvement. His final product consistency needs sharpening. Putting up 5 goals and 6 assists across 43 total club appearances this season shows his execution in the final third can still be elevated. And his shot selection can occasionally see him face long-range efforts when a simple layoff is the superior option. If you take a hard look on how we set up, Maza's theoretical profile fits right into a fluid possession dominance blueprint. Our system thrives on attacking midfielders occupying the half spaces, those corridors between opponents' fullback and centre backs. Maza is fundamentally hardwired to drift into that left half space, combined with an overlapping fullback and carve out central openings. Plus, when teams deploy an aggressive mid-block against us, our progression stalls. His ability to receive the ball from deep under heavy duress, turn and drive forward completely changes the mass for opposing midfields. My honest opinion, Ibrahim Maza is a phenomenal talent, but signing him would be a classic shiny new toy syndrome for us right now. His stellar performance with Algeria at the African Cup of Nations and his rapid development in Germany has proved he has a world-class ceiling. Elite clubs like Barcelona monitoring him isn't a fluke. However, from our perspective, we have to stop stockpiling under 21 profiles, unless they directly fix an open wound in the starting 11. We don't need another developmental number 10 or a half winger competing for minutes in an already congested attack. If you are going to drop a 45 million euros on an attacker, it should be an absolute killer, a physically imposing, ruthless number 9 who converts chances at an elite clip, or an out-and-out explosive winger who holds the touchline. Maza is magnificent, but it's a luxury we simply don't have the structural minutes to develop properly right now. But moving on, according to Ben Jacobs, Atletico Madrid are set to open talks with Chelsea over Marc Cucurella. But Diego Simeone's side aren't the only one keeping tabs on him. The race is actually quite crowded, with a couple of our Premier League rivals and another Spanish powerhouse lurking in the shadows. Simon Johnson breaks it down for them. Manchester City and United are among Marc Cucurella's admirers, while Atletico Madrid are doing the majority of the cutting, while Barcelona also holds interest. Atletico believe Chelsea will sell for around £40 million, with the rumor mill spinning entirely out of control. The man himself was asked about all these reports while away on international break. As reported by Mundo Deportivo, I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm very happy at Chelsea, but I haven't wanted to know anything for a long time. I want to enjoy this because it may be my first and last time here in a World Cup. I want to enjoy this, and that is it. You can't blame him for wanting to completely tune out of the drama. Representing his country at the World Cup is a massive milestone, and the last thing he needs is his phone blowing up with transfer updates every 5 seconds. But despite all the aggressive cutting from Madrid and the constant headline, we need to inject a bit of calm reality in this situation. Fabrizio Romano has laid out exactly where things stand structurally between the club and the player right now. According to Fabrizio Romano, Marc Cucurella will not force a move out of Chelsea this summer. It depends on good bid or not. Atletico will love him and they are neat. And he followed up with an important reality check. No official bid or negotiation for Marc Cucurella. So let's look at the facts. He's happy. He's not going to throw a tantrum to force his way out. And no one has actually put any money on the table yet. Atletico Madrid are clearly obsessed with him. but until they turn that admiration into an actual piece of paper with numbers on it, he remains a Chelsea player. But moving on, according to L'Equipe, their GFFN, Malo Gusto is another player who could leave Chelsea over the summer. He has been a subject of recent inquiries from Manchester City, with Pep out and our former boss Enzo Maresca stepping into the hot seat at Etihad. It seems Maresca wants a reunion with a player he trusted blindly. And this is probably the most clear-headed, unemotional take on Malo Gusto right now. And honestly, the logic holds up perfectly. He has reached that exact crossroad where the label steady Eddie fits like a glove. When you strip away the hype, looking at what Gusto gives us versus what we need under Xabi Alonso highlights why cashing in makes an immense amount of tactical sense. Let's hit the nail on the head regarding his profile. If there is one thing you can never strip away from Gusto, it is engine and availability. In a squad where our primary option, Rich James, is unfortunately brittle, having a right back who played nearly 50 games for us this past season is a massive flaw reason. His best ability is availability. He's rarely in the medical room. He's physically robust and covers the entire right flank without complaining. Plus, he provides a decent baseline of defending. In 1v1 situation, isolated against tricky wingers, he holds his own. He isn't a defensive liability. On the flip side, he offers zero final third lethality. He gets into amazing position, but his final ball is incredibly inconsistent. He lacks that elite specialized way or the disguise of his cutback to open up low block. Tactically, he's caught in between. He isn't quite an elite inverted midfielder who can dictate the tempo of our build-up. Nor is he a devastating overlapping wing-back who can create 15 big chances a year. He's just good, not a world beater. With Man City actively sniffing around him plus interest from Inter, Gusto's market value is at an absolute premium. He even made the Deschamps World Cup squad for France, meaning his price tag is completely inflated right now. If a club triggers a 40 to 50 million euros bid, keeping him where we don't hold any sentimental attachment to him would be bad business. And here is how we restructure that right back position if we pull the trigger on the sale. If we want to build the squad right, giving Josh Achampong a genuine first team minutes next season is the high IQ play. Josh is an elite academy talent with a massive physical profile. He's versatile enough to fill in at right back or a right centre back, and he desperately needs a clear pathway to development. The only risk here is if Rich James picks up another injury, you are suddenly asking a 20-year-old Achampong to carry the burden of being our starting right back for 30 games plus in a high pressure system. It's a massive gamble. If we don't trust Rich James' fitness, and let's be honest, we can't. Selling Gusto allows us to go out and buy a specialized profile that actually elevates Alonso's tactical selling. We could target an absolute specialist, like a genuine touchline hugging creator, a highly technical, press-resistant, inverted fullback who provides immediate competition for our starting shirt rather than just acting as a safe backup. At the end of the day, we shouldn't care if he stays or goes, because players like Gusto are exactly the type of good but replaceable assets that funds elite squad transformation. If City or Inter come to the table with crazy money, sell him immediately. We should use that profit to balance the books, hand Josh Achampong his well-deserved minutes in rotation, and invest the leftover cash into a ruthless world beater somewhere else in the starting 11. But moving on, and we have to talk about Enzo Fernandez, because the speculation surrounding his future at Stamford Bridge has been getting wild. With Enzo Maresca moving onto the blue side of Manchester, rumors immediately started flying that he wanted to raid us and bring his tactical engine alongside with him. The media have a few days trying to convince everyone that a mega deal was in the works. However, the noise has officially been shut down by top sources close to Etihad. According to Mail Sports, Manchester City sources has distanced themselves from the idea of landing Chelsea midfielder Enzo Fernandez. It turns out that despite all the clickbait headlines screaming about personal negotiation and blockbuster reunion, City's hierarchy has stepped back. They are looking at entirely different profile to refresh their engine post-Pep, meaning that the dramatic panic in our fan base was for nothing. While rival clubs are clearing the air, our incoming boss is making his desires known to the board. He isn't trying to walk into a gutted squad come pre-season. He knows exactly who the world-class pieces are in the team, and he wants them locked down. But Vincent reported that Xabi Alonso will be happy if Enzo Fernandez and Marc Cucurella are wearing Chelsea blue by the time he kicks off his tenure at Chelsea in August. and this gives me so much peace of mind. Alonso is a midfield master himself. He knows exactly how rare and valuable a talent like Enzo is when it comes to dictating matches from deep. Seeing that he's prioritizing keeping both Enzo Fernandez and Marc Cucurella around shows he has a clear and elite vision for our tactical spine next season. But moving on, let's talk about the number 9 position, because this is where things get incredibly tricky for us heading into the summer. There has been a lot of chatter about whether we are going to dive into the market for a superstar striker. According to Enzo Fernandez, with no European football to contend with next season, hiring 3 specialist strikers may not be ideal. As a result, beyond those options, another centre forward is not expected at Chelsea this summer. The truth is, having a massive bloated squad when you are only playing domestic football makes no sense. But the striker room is already getting crowded because of previous agreements. According to BBC Sports, Enzo Fernandez add context on Nicolas Jackson's future. Chelsea has already signed Emmanuel Emega from Strasbourg, and the initial plan was for him to be involved with the first team. However, it remains to be seen who out of Leon Delap and Nicolas Jackson will feature as deputies to main striker Joao Pedro next season, or be sold or sent out on loan. Now, if you are looking at the markets, other clubs are fully aware that we have a logjam up front. Teams are already testing our resolve to see if we are willing to part ways with some of our young forwards to balance the books. According to Mail Sports, strikers such as Chelsea's Leon Delap and Newcastle William Osula are admired by Everton. But if you inquire, their club says the price is £40 million plus. Well, let's come find out if you're actually going for a striker this summer. It's a big conversation because I generally wanted us to sign Victor Osimhen. And then as much as I know it won't be possible though, that was definitely more of a hope. The latest reports brings clarity that we won't be equally be going for anyone like Dusan Vlahovic or Darwin Núñez either. When it comes to our internal option, I look at Jackson and Leon Delap, and I honestly think we need to sell both and replace them entirely if we want to reach that elite level. But like I said, if I'm forced to choose between the two, I'll probably stick with Jackson than Leon Delap. I think we should sell Leon Delap to Everton or whoever that is interested and take the money and move on. And with that said, that's the end of the video, my friends. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Baby.